What a great day for gamers today, because finally Sony announced that the PlayStation 5 will get VRR, verbal refresh rate, and now of course you're asking when? In the coming months, whatever that means. I hope it's not that far away, but I would actually say maybe with the new TVs from Sony. But nevertheless, we have now finally our official statement or announcement from Sony about VRR and PlayStation 5. And for everybody who has no idea what we're talking about, when we're talking about VRR, verbal refresh rate, I made already a couple of videos, and yes, the good looking guy here on the screen, that's me actually explaining what VRR is doing or capable of in combination with the LG CX and the Xbox Series. So I put the link in the description. Make sure you watch those videos, because then you're actually up to date, and then you understand why I think that VRR is a must-have feature on next-gen consoles. Okay, so for everybody who rather watch Linus Tech Tips, here a very quick explanation. What is VRR actually doing? Okay, so let's say we're playing a game on the PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, it really doesn't matter, and those platforms are not supporting VRR, and the game what we are going to play or what we are playing is very demanding, and we have just, let's say, around 55 frames per second all the time. And let's also assume that our TV is actually capable of receiving a VRR signal, but because we're not sending any, it will stay in a fixed refresh rate in terms of, or in case of the LG CX, actually 60 Hz or 120 Hz. But the problem now is, because we're sending 55 frames per second to the TV, and regardless if this TV is in the 60 Hz mode or 120 Hz mode, that doesn't fit, because 55 doesn't fit in 60 Hz and also not in 120 Hz. So you will end up with stuttering. And to prevent stuttering, now we need VRR. So let's say we have set up VRR, activated, everything is fine. What is happening now? Game is outputting 55 frames per second. The TV has now a refresh rate of 55 Hz instead of a fixed refresh rate of 60 Hz. So the refresh rate from the TV is now variable, and it will follow exactly the frames per second from the game. If the game now is outputting with 48 frames per second, the TV will have 48 Hz. That's how it works, and you will not have any stuttering anymore. You need to keep in mind, of course, the lower the frame rate and the lower the refresh rate, the more blurrier the picture is when you move around, but you will not have any screen tearing and not any stuttering. Okay, so this was a very quick explanation on how VRR is actually working, but I would strongly recommend watch my videos about this topic, because I have a lot of examples actually in terms of how VRR is really working in combination with the PC and the Xbox Series X. It's really worth to watch. Okay, so let's move on with the upcoming firmware update for the PlayStation 5. And Sony was very kind with us, and they shared a screenshot of the menu, how it will look like in the future. And as you can see here, VRR automatic, and I will just guess that we can turn it on or off or stuff like that. But this is not the main feature I'm actually excited about. It's actually this one, apply to unsupported games. And what that means, I have a theory. So we need to understand that just because we are enabling VRR on the Xbox Series X, that doesn't mean that VRR is working all the time. I mean, as soon we enabling this feature, the LG CX or any supported TV will go into a variable refresh rate, not in a fixed refresh mode anymore. But still, that doesn't mean that all the games are supporting VRR actually. And this is kind of weird actually, because in my opinion it is very simple. As soon a game has an uneven frame rate, the TV should actually try to match this, as we talked about this, okay? But there are a couple of games like Halo the Master Chief Edition in the 120 Hz or 120 FPS mode. VRR is not working, and in some cases you have stuttering during gameplay. So even with VRR enabled, you will have stuttering. And I hope actually that with this button we can force VRR to work on non-supported games. And again, I'm very happy about this news, because in my opinion VRR is a must-have feature, and maybe must-have is not even right, because for me it's a standard feature which should be enabled since day one. Especially when you come from PC gaming, VRR AMD FreeSync, Nvidia's G-Sync is just a normal standard feature. And gaming without that feature is, I can't even think about this, because VRR having a verbal refresh rate on the screen is improving the gameplay a lot. You don't need to worry about all the graphic settings on the PC, on the games, because it really doesn't matter anymore if you fall below 60 FPS for a couple of seconds or you have much higher frame rate and stuff like that. This is a very good thing. And again, I like to bring this up again. It's not just for having or compensating frame drops below 60 FPS, okay? It's also to have much higher frame rate, as we have seen in Dying Light 2 with the latest patch on the Xbox Series. And what they have done is they just unlocked the frame rate in the 1080p performance mode, and suddenly we have frame rate up to 1890 frames per second. And believe me, the difference between 60 and 90 FPS, it's actually huge. Okay, I think I bothered you already long enough with my enthusiasm and with my excitement about this news from Sony and the PlayStation 5 update. I think it's time to end this video here. Just believe me when I'm going to say that VRR will improve gameplay on the PlayStation 5 as well as it has done on the Xbox Series X with supported games. Okay, that's the downside, okay, supported games. But anyway, thank you very much for watching me. I see you guys next time. Bye.